NHL Network insider Chris Johnston joining us on Arena Cam from Prudential Center right now. Chris, the clock ticking on that last man in vote tonight. Is there a player out there from the guys that we saw in those graphics getting a lot of buzz for this final spot?
Yeah, I'd say, the one that stands out to me is Gabriel Landeskog. And I know his Colorado Avalanche have maybe fallen on some tough times here in the last week or two. But with his spot on perhaps the most dangerous line in hockey right now, I believe that he's a good bet to get in from the Central Division. I'm also interested to see how things shake out in the Atlantic. The Toronto Maple Leafs have put on a real push for Morgan Riley here in the last 24 hours. If they've done some sort of viral-ish videos with their players. And I think between him and Jeff Skinner, just down the highway with the Buffalo Sabres, both are very willing or worthy candidates for that position. Both could have been named in the original batch. And you have two big fan bases in Toronto and Buffalo. And I think that there's been a lot of support for both those guys. So that one will probably go right down to the wire to see who comes out on top.
All right, then we shift our attention to the Metro. Not only did they need the extra player and they need a captain because Ovi announced he will not attend this year's All-Star game, has to sit out one game either on the front end or the back end of the All-Star break. Are you hearing about a name for a replacement for who's going to wear the C for the Metro?
Well, at this point, it doesn't sound as though there's going to be a big announcement about that. I think it's a little bit of a tricky proposition. I mean, remember that the captains, their primary function in the All-Star game is that they're voted on by the fans. And obviously, Alex Ovechkin won out in that vote. But you don't necessarily need a captain per se in a 3-on-3 tournament. And I think that there's maybe a bit of a delicate situation there. They don't want to necessarily ask Sidney Crosby, who I believe would be the natural next captain, to replace Ovechkin, given their long history against one another. So, the way it sounds like it's going to go is they won't maybe formally name one, but when it gets to the All-Star weekend in San Jose, don't be surprised maybe if it's number 87, Sidney Crosby, who comes out quietly with a C stitched on his jersey.
All right, interesting. Great stuff as always, Chris, although I do have a bone to pick because it is 80s night at the Rock where you are, and when we were told we were having a guest, I was hoping you'd come on with something 80s-ish, whether a wig or a jacket, but I'm hearing that the Arena Camp technician inside the penalty box with you is rocking some sort of Thriller jacket, Michael Jackson-esque. What can you tell me about that?
I can confirm that's indeed what's happening. Unfortunately, I didn't get the heads up. I didn't know it was 80s night till I got here, and unlike most of the players in this game, I actually remember the 80s, so I'm enjoying seeing the retro Devils jerseys tonight.
Good stuff. We look forward to seeing Dano with hair coming up a little bit later on, too. He was rocking the wig on social media. Chris, thank you very much. Enjoy 80s night tonight.